You're in for an hour now.
I know.
Yeah, sorry, I'll be all right.
Hey,
welcome to Tales from the Dark Side. We're doing Star Wars Clone Wars review, season 1, episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. There will be spoilers. We're gonna roll out the thing. We'll be all right. Hey, here it is. Yep, there. Pete got us the spoilers. He went all zero dark 30 on us, but that's okay. We'll go ahead with it without him. We're gonna do spoilers. We're going over, as you know, we have the reading list. Where is the reading list for this week? Is here. Our watching list is Ambush 101. 102 is Rise of the Malevolence, Shadow, and Destroy. It's pretty much the arc for that. That's the ship that Grievous had. So we'll go through all those. We'll start you off with actually a pretty cool episode. We probably should have rolled this into one of the other ones, but it just didn't fit in there. If you recall, last time we came across this species, and it was they were neutral, and this and that and the other thing. Well, they're not so neutral anymore. Now they're deciding what side they're going to be on. Are they going to be on the Yoda side of things, or are they going to be on the Ventress side of things? And it's a very Yoda heavy episode. Yoda pretty much basically gets shot down and has to get to them to talk out their peace negotiations or whatever. But he gets shot down. Ventress is there with a bunch of droids. They're never going to get there. That's cool. But some of the coolest scenes in this part right here had to be, and we clipped them together to you. We're going to go back to back with some of these scenes just so we can get the 10-minute clips in there real quickly. Or 10-second clips in there real quickly. Had to be the fighting scenes with Yoda. I mean, you got to remember when you started watching those first ones, especially in the movie, it was very like generic fighting scenes, almost small poses, stuff like that. And then
Hey, get off of me! Don't move.
you got him taking it down. The clones were starting to have a little bit of faith in them after that. He's like, oh, okay, well, at least he can take out one little Jedi can take it out by themselves. Then he comes back and goes, well, they were still a little nervous. He said, there's 3 of you, but don't worry about it. I got this covered. They look like he's surrendering. He gets in front of the tanks and
the next part's the best. Inside the tank, he pulls them all back in and just
10
shreds them.
I'm not a Jedi General. I am the Jedi General. Is how that should have been.
That next 10 seconds is so badass.
And that's why everybody
put
should
in
be
the comments
watching.
below if you want more of these little clips. We're trying to figure out a way where we could do it without getting the whole network shut down. We're gonna keep doing it. But those two, I think we had a show because they have a great significance in this. Like when you start seeing this, the fight scenes really start turning around a little bit. Unfortunately, and then we have one more with Ventress. We didn't put it on here where he stops her at the end. But you got to see that the action parts were really taking over. They really were stepping up their animation at this point. And plus, they're adding in that music. Like the second one, I'm going to play it again just so we can watch it again because it is so cool. But you can hear like the bat, it makes sense. Yeah. Here we go. We'll play. All right. I think we've taken enough pause.
Superhero landing.
Yeah. What's that?
Superhero landing.
Yeah, and it is. And Yoda's really he is BA. Patrick's right, man. It was really cool to start seeing this where they're coming out there and they got to see it. It was emotional because there was the 3 clone things and they were like, hey, they had their usual moral dilemma about like, hey, are we gonna be able to make it? Should we just give up? And no, Yoda's just like, he does his talk. We'll take care of it. He's really calm. I like how in the beginning where they're like, well, it's the straight lines that way, and he's like, hey, man, we're way outnumbered. We're not going right into the enemy. We're going to go the long way. The long way seems to work for them really quickly. Yeah, everybody's got it. Yoda is BA, man. He's the best. And I think
I love Ventress's line before that too. Like, how do we know which one he's going to be? He'll be the small shriveled green one with a lightsaber. It's a great line.
The whole thing was great. You got to hear a lot of great stuff come out of Ventress too, and it kind of let her develop a little bit too, which is kind of cool. And then it also showed some of the sadistic part because after this, she gets there and is like, hey, I'm going to look, we've lost this. They've obviously broken through the lines. They're obviously going to get here in time to do the negotiations. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill the king and maybe we can negotiate better with somebody else. Dooku kind of told her that, but either way, so she went to go kill him. But then Yoda, that's when Yoda blew stuff up. But Yoda stopped her obviously with the Force, so she couldn't and it showed how powerful he was. Like he stopped both of her lightsabers with the Force, and kind of was like, you better go to play another day. Let her go on. Let her get on with it.
While he's talking calmly to the king too at the same time.
Yeah,
He's holding her sabers back. And then takes the sabers away from her after he unignites them and is like, "You've got a lot to learn." Then gives the sabers back.
That's what I was gonna say. Then he gives them back, just like I ain't even. You're gonna need these if you're gonna come at me. You're gonna need these. Have these back. That's how I am. That's how I roll. Here's your sabers back.
Exactly.
It definitely was. Like you got to think too. Around the time that this was happening too, we had like the Yoda wasn't. The Yoda from our childhood was just like a little funny a little bit, but then he was supposed to be this master, but he's on the end legs. And then you kind of saw him, but he was more in the political realm in the movies, in the newer movies. So you didn't get to see like the Yoda, like I jump on people's backs and I'm
because our Yoda was a
smart, but I'm also like swarmy, like hey, I'm gonna take, like you said, you might need these back someday. You're just not that good right now. And he's negotiating with he's like, yeah, how was it? Oh, Yoda, Master Yoda, good to see you. Sure. Sorry I'm late. It took me a couple minutes. We got to take a long route. We're good, though. You know what I mean?
And he has that line, too, like, it's not polite to be late. We gotta get there.
Yeah,
and Dooku appears at the end in the hologram, and he goes, "If only I were there, Master Yoda." And he goes, "Yes, I would have liked you to be here too, my fallen apprentice.
Yeah,
like I would have kicked your ass too if you were here." Love it.
Which is kind of cool. So it was good to see that. It was good to see like a Master Yoda bouncing and jumping around and just whooping ass pretty much. I mean, that's what he was doing. So it was cool. He used his sarcasm and they ended up making the deal work out. Obviously Dooku said he'd rule the day, but whatever, Dooku, whatever.
The episode quote before every episode of Clone Wars, there's like the quick title. This one was "Great Leaders Inspire Greatness in Others." And that was the perfect setup for what we saw like Yoda do.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And let's not ignore that. Let's not ignore that also, that one little cut scene where they're preparing in the cave with Reese, Jack, and Fire, and they all are like, "Why would you want to see our faces? We're all exactly the same."
Oh yeah.
And Yoda's like, "No, not to me. You're not. You all have very different in the Force. You all are very different. And here's how you're different. Here's how you're different. Here's how you're different." And I love that moment of sort of unraveling character amidst a 20-minute episode with all this other action and character building and stuff. They still take a moment, still take a beat to talk about that stuff.
Great writing in that point, as this, if you're actually watching this not in the order we are, but in the order episode 1, season 1, and you're going from beginning to end, this, after the movie they named the clones, this is really where they start to humanize the clones. This is where they really start to give them identity and point out that they are individuals and that they are, people and humans, and each one, it does have a unique character. So great writing, like really good writing to describe that in there and get that in.
I mean, that's something you're going to see through the whole theme. Like, I know they call it Clone Wars, and we all think about the great characters that came out of it, like Ahsoka, or the relationship between her and Anakin and Ventress. And they we're going to get into Grievous a little bit better here and stuff like that. And that's all cool. But you do forget that this is where they did humanize. Like, they humanized the clones through the Clone Wars. It was about the troopers that are in the war. That's what it was about. So it's as much about the clones as it is all these specialty characters as the Jedi and everybody else is your favorites. And you're right. Like, that's where, I mean, throughout all of it, you started in even in the movie where they start to kind of go like, they gave them real, like nicknames were real names. And we've watched some of the stuff in chronological order where you start seeing, oh, well, okay, this is the training. This was how this worked out and everything like that. So it is really cool to see it. And for us not to forget that, like, that is what it's about. In the end, it's about the clones. I mean, I know it's part of the Skywalker saga, but that's pretty cool. Anyways, so that's a great episode. It's fun.
Wait,
I think we played enough clips.
I don't want to skip the bit Jen brought up before we started. That those 3 clones, that they're important in a way, aren't they?
Question?
Oh yeah, that they survive all the way through Order 66, and they're the troopers who are with Palpatine when they go to get Anakin, Darth Vader off Mustafar.
Oh, the 3 from the cave.
Yeah, the 3 from this one.
Yeah. That's pretty cool too, man. That's really is kind of cool that they they took that all the way through and gave the backstory how those were going to be the 3 clones that, you know, they see down there and they say he survived or whatever it is. And then Palps went down there and saved a burnt up Anakin, which is kind of cool.
All right. Question. Do you guys think that this planet is quintessential to their fight? Because this race, as we know from Watto, Jedi mind tricks don't work on them, only money.
No, I think it was more like the location of the planet. I think that's kind of what they were saying. I mean, you got to think about that. What's up, Pete or Mike? Are you
They want to build a strategic base on the planet. So Tidaria, I guess, is situated in a place that
it's like on the outside. It's on the outside where the Trade Federation routes come through. So like it's almost on the outer rim area. So I think it was like just like a strategic staging place where they could.
Very key position. But having this race on their side also, I think, kind of helps because they're not easily manipulated. So send the main general, send the big guns in.
They kill him though, don't they? Wait, I shouldn't be ruining stuff. Like, spoiler alert. So, like, I don't think
just run that banner.
Yeah, I mean, you could not use mind tricks, but even if you don't use mind tricks, I mean, they still have lightsabers. I'm not talking about I'm talking about both sides. Either way, okay. So that's it. Pete, are you alive? No. Okay, good. Well, we're gonna leave Pete out for this one. Does anybody else have anything to add on this episode? Because we do have 3 more episodes to get to. Does anybody else have anything to add? All right, let's rank the episodes real quickly. Let's give them the clones. Helmets, 1, 2, a Jen, which is a 5. Okay. Speaking of it, Jen, go ahead. What do you got?
4.5.
Hey, there you go. 4.5.
So I know I've rated 4s for the previous ones. This is where just storyline, filling in more things about the Force and how, because before, like when I was a kid, I was like, and before I start reading the EU stuff, like I really did think that like only the Jedi had like the Force, but like Yoda says that the Force resides in all of us, like, or all living things, like, and so the filling in the clones, Ventress, like this is where I start to move into like the 4.5 area.
Good deal. 4.5. We'll give it to you. I'm surprised you didn't go above that, but we're still waiting for you too. There's lots more episodes. Okay, Solo Wookiee, what do you got?
You guys are gonna hate me. It's a 5.
What? I thought we were
love it. I love this episode. I love it.
All right.
The way they give all the characterization of the clones and they describe them, the character building in this is key. You forget about the animation in this episode. This is where I start to forget about the blocky computer animation in here, and I start getting so deep into the story, it just sucks me in. And to see Yoda just come out and just, I mean, annihilating it, the platoon after platoon after platoon, and run his clones with him, just 5 all day long. That's the stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I'm surprised that you gave it that high, but I'm glad you did. It's finally about time you gave something a 5. All right, Mike, what do you got?
I'm with Jen. I'm going 4.5, and that extra half is for pure Yoda badassery, especially the 10 seconds after the clip that we showed. That when he goes into the tank and pulls the droids back in, and then you just see this green flash of debris come back. I mean, it is so awesome. And I agree with what Solo said too. I mean, this is great character building. I love taking the beats to sort of have a calm moment with the clones, and a little bit of Easter eggy stuff going on in there too. Any good Yoda episode is fantastic. I love this episode. I think it's one of the best episodes.
Yeah, it definitely is. I love the Yoda stuff was just great, man. I mean, it just the way he talked to them. You're right, the way he humanized them, but just the way he was always calm throughout it. I thought it was really good, and I'm right there with you guys. I'm at the 4.5 point too. Like, it really does when you watch it, and maybe it's because it's some of the other episodes, including the episodes that come up. You can see like some of the fighting animation wasn't that good. The sound didn't hit it as well as it should have, even if they tried to remaster it or whatever. It just didn't work out that well. So I have to give it 4.5 because this one, and plus, yeah, you're right. Like Yoda seems like Yoda. He doesn't seem like an animation at that point. He actually, because he's humanizing the rest, maybe it's because he's doing that with the clones, that it makes him seem like he's more, well, I mean, I guess he'd be an alien species, so more alienized. Either way, it makes him seem more real. That's all I'm saying. So I'm giving it a 4.5 too. It was a great episode. I actually watched it twice in a row because I just like the fight scenes. All right, the next episode is Rise.
Pete, doesn't Pete get to rate it?
Are you not
Pete,
seeing me?
what do you got?
Every time I'm talking, you're wondering if I'm here.
Okay.
If I'm disappearing, I'm like,
Okay, yeah. Well, that's a little low, Pete. I think that's a little low, but sure, fair enough. Good point. All right, thanks for that, Pete. All right.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep you long. It's just straight 4.5.
He's the one that clipped all this together.
It's a great
so I'm really sad that he's not here right now. But I think somebody's sending me messages, so it might be him. He might be trapped in.
What are you talking about? I'm sitting right
here.
No, we can see him.
We can see him. He's here.
Yeah, we can see him all day long.
He's here,
right there, and
that's what I'm saying. Are you not seeing?
Are you kidding me?
No, not at all. You can't see his middle finger right now.
Okay, get out of here with that. All right,
he's not flipping you off, but he is sitting right there.
Really?
Yeah, live streaming.
All right, hold on, real quick. I'm gonna try to get him back. Can you hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
What's he saying? No, I really can't.
He said 7.5.
He said 4.5.
He said 4.5.
Yep, 7.
Now he's a black screen.
I can see him.
Are you guys messing with me?
No,
I can see him.
We can totally see him and hear him and everything.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on with that season. I'll see right now.
You pop back in.
Shannon, can you see him? Yes or no?
I can see him. He said 4.5 is his rating.
See, that's gonna hear me too.
Okay, 4.5 it is. Pete gets 4.5. What else has he said? Anything else good? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he has.
All right, here we go. We're going to number 2. Part 2 here is the Rising of the Malevolence, and that is, for everybody that doesn't know, that is the ship that is Mr. Grievous is there. This is the one question I have about the ship. Maybe we should start off with the question first. Why did they make more of these?
Well, it's kind of like the Death Star, right? It's humongous.
It is, but I don't think it's on Death Star level. But
that's a valid question because I had the same thing. Like, okay, this is your test run. Maybe build, I don't know, 3.
Like even when they showed inside when the droids fire it, it reminded me a little bit of the Death Star because the droids kind of like lean away.
Yeah, they're on that like railingless ledge like in the Death Star. It's perfect.
And then,
I love it.
And then like later, 2 episodes from now, like they're firing at it, but it's so massive, like it's not going to do anything. Like
there's a train line inside this ship.
Yeah, okay, I get all that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, because it's so big, I get it. Because it's so big, even if you don't put the ion cannon on it, why wouldn't you just build a couple? It seemed like your droids could build them pretty well, and it's a droid army that's doing it. So why just not build like 3 or 4 of these? Because they were even having trouble. If they want to sabotage okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
Oh, Grievous is there, and for some reason, Count Dooku goes over him saying, "Don't ruin this. Make sure you kill all the Jedi. Make sure you destroy everything." So they go out there and they use the ion cannon. Pete, could you play any videos you want from this real quickly? Okay,
I can, but I don't know if you'll know.
So
it says yes, you can.
All right, so we get in there and they destroy the cruiser that's in there. All the escape pods go out. You got Pole.
Oh, wait, so basically the EMP pulse disables the ships, and then they just fire a bunch of cannons at it until it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what it does.
What?
Like
the what?
Ion cannon.
EMP. What is it? The ion.
Ion cannon. Electromagnetic cannon. You've been watching too much Matrix.
I like
you're watching too much Matrix.
It's an ion. We understood what you meant. When you fire the ion cannon at the ship, it pretty much just neutralizes all of it. It works like an EMP. Right.
I like EMP better.
So then, anyway, shuts off all the powers to all the ships, and then there you go, and then they blow it up. The escape pods get out. This is one escape pod that we're following. One of Dave's favorite characters. For those that know, he's got a huge statue in front of his office of it. And what else? Jen had a little tidbit about this character and a little story about this episode.
That in one of the interviews with Dave Filoni, he explains that whenever they were writing these episodes, George Lucas always had notes and always had like, hey, do this or change this, right? Because they're all like learning and growing when they're doing this. But this episode is the first time that when they like gave it to him, he was like, nope, this is good. And like, really? No notes? And then like, yep. And they're like, yes, like
I'm here.
They made an episode, that like was good, like beyond. Yeah. Anyway,
Marco, just so you know, Pete has never disappeared.
I know.
Pete
he just
has
sent
never
me the
disappeared.
message. I'm going to leave. All right, Pete, start running a clip here. I'm leaving. I'll be right back.
I love Plo Koon. He's one of my favorites on the council. I've always really loved Plo Koon and Kit Fistu. I think that those two are a team to reckon with. And I think they really show well how important Plo Koon is and how powerful he is, because if you watch Anakin, he respects and shows mass respect to Plo Koon in the episode.
Yep.
And I thought that was really well done.
Yeah.
We get great backstory between Ahsoka and Plo as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see that in a comic.
His breather was super detailed. I'm like, wow, they really make it.
Especially that front section, all the little like filigree and stuff. It's really cool. I mean, really, really cool.
Can you see him now, Marco?
I can. And
okay.
Chat was messing with me too. Okay, this is what you do. Don't put up chat because I'm in a different setup here. Don't put up chat comments and say like, "Oh, he's really hard to see. Oh, we can't see him," as jokes, because for me, I really couldn't see him. So thanks a lot for that. It looked like a cutout. It looked like the opposite of green screen. All right, 4.5
on a live stream,
and everybody could hear him but me. That's great. That's cool, man. All right, so where are we at of this? Did we do any of the videos yet that you cut out?
We're gonna go to right here.
All right, Pete, hit it.
Pete. Which one I forgot where we're even at.
Oh my!
Someone to come look for us. If I was in command, I'd be hunting that weapon down.
I value your life more than finding that weapon,
sir.
Perfect.
See, it was like we were talking about earlier, how they start to use the clones and show you what their thought process is and everything else like that. Speaking of that, we have the next clip is.
No, that's not it. This one goes there. That one goes there.
So I only picked that because it's a callback.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I just had to.
It is great. So they were trying to figure out like to get the energy back on, and then once they did, they found that was really cool, and at the same time a little bit like ooh, because you got to see like they're crushed. They're literally just let those clones fly into the air and die.
They have a little like the droids are coming with like a claw.
Mm-hmm.
The claw.
Yeah, a little can opener.
Yeah, and then it comes, and then like at one point he's able to like turn them, and so you can see like it's a kid show. So you're seeing like the pressure and then go out into outer space, and you're like, okay, how old are people watching in there?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's super dark. This is a dark episode. At least the first half of it is, anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, even darker that like the droid is humming the Imperial March.
Yeah.
While they're like flying up to the pods to like rip them open. That's super dark humor, man.
Yeah.
And for like what, a 7-year-old or
it definitely was. They so they go and they're about to cut through that. They find Plo Koon's last one too, and they're like, okay, we're gonna crush that. And he's like, listen, it was kind of after that part. I'm going to save you guys. I'm going to jump out there. I have a little bit of an air tank. He jumps out and does the old hop on top of this. Oh, yeah. Well, we will. Oh, third video. Let's go. Third video then.
Put your helmets on.
If you say so, sir.
This is a difficult situation, but there remains a possibility we will survive.
I like how he goes, there's a possibility we'll still survive. Like, yeah, sure. Of course we will. They jump out here. They start shooting at it. He ends up using the lightsaber to cut it off. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, Ahsoka feels his force power because they are bonded, because he found her originally. They did use one of the couple things where she said some things, and I keep forgetting that they kept doing this like Sky Guy, and like there's one where she says R2EO or whatever.
R2E.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm really
getting that through the whole series. She slips 1 or 2 in all the way into season 7.
Did she do R2E in season 7?
You don't. Yeah, it really drops off, and you don't hear it very often. But there's a point when she comes back at the very end of season 7, and she says it, I think, one time. Calls him R2E.
Did you guys feel like because while we're seeing Plo Koon and all this other stuff happen with him, we do see in the back the Padawan master, like he kind of, I feel like Anakin picked up a lot of Obi-Wan's traits where if he does something, like she does something he doesn't like, he's like young Padawan. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that like kind of bothered me about Obi to Anakin in the series, because like he kept doing it, and it's like, okay, you don't have to keep calling him like young Padawan or like downgrading him like to his face, because so he's doing it to Ahsoka, and I'm like, okay. And then yes, he does like appease her and take her out there, but I also like how Palpatine like masterfully listened to what they're saying, and he's like, wait, I have this thing, I don't want it to go away. Who's out there? Anakin? Crap, I can't be mad at Anakin. I want him to join the dark side. Okay, I'll call him. And he's like, hey, come home.
Yeah.
And like, okay. And then that's when Ahsoka goes kind of rogue and is like, because it's really weird to see Anakin go from trying to like help Ahsoka do this like mission to, well, Palpatine said to go, so I'm going to go.
Yeah, but do you think so? That was an interesting relationship too. I thought it was something that they kind of move away from too, but they were trying to do the play on Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then just like he actually is a responsible, which was kind of funny because even in the movie he wasn't responsible at that point. Like he's never been, like in this episode and maybe a couple more. There's times where you see him be a little bit more responsible and a little bit of an actual leader, and the majority of the time he is just a grown man child. So. It was very interesting that they did that in that part.
He was trying to teach her the ways around the council, though, too.
Yeah.
Like, there are ways to get the thing done that you want to get done. You just got to do it the right way.
You said it wrong. Like,
which is what Obi did for him, though, too. I mean, realistically, that's what it was,
Absolutely, passing down some Obi-Wan knowledge. Tell them what they want to hear, and this is from a certain point of view, and then go do it. And then, everything smooths out. I think that Palps was a little angry because I think this was kind of one of his first true shots at one of the, the council Jedi members too. And so I think he was like, oh, I can't have I need Anakin for later in my plan. Mm-hmm. And my plan was to take out Plo. I need, Plo Koon's got to be gone. Like that's a force I'd like to get done with now, so I don't have to reckon with him later. And I think he was a little upset that Annie kind of went out and saved him.
But JJ brings up a great point in the chat, and the Qui-Gon did that for Obi-Wan too. I mean, that's like the impetus of the first scene of episode 1. That's a great point. Great point.
You think it's like it's done to like humble and to like put them back in their place, or
no?
Sometimes it feels kind of snarky, like jab. Sometimes.
I think it's because the Padawan. No, I saw it as the Padawans are like. I guess you're looking at it from a different way. Like, think about if you're teaching little kids and you've got a sarcastic little kid that thinks they know everything in the world all the time. That's what both everybody from Obi-Wan to Anakin to Ahsoka, they're all like. I mean, she's that's what the Sky Guy thing is supposed to be, and the R2-y thing, and all that.
But at this point, that little kid, the snarky little kid in your class, is now also a teacher who's teaching another little kid. So you can't dress them down that much in front of their student, otherwise you're undermining them as well.
Well, I think what she's saying is what like Anakin's saying to Tana, right? How he's kind of like talking. Yeah, but she does. I mean, she literally does the same. She calls him Sky Guy all the time.
Yeah,
it's not like she's like, yes, sir, whatever you say, sir. Okay, it seems like they're trying to show that the link that when they set up, and you see this in the greater universe with it, like they try to match Jedi Masters with certain Padawans, and I think they're trying to do like the snarky thing there. Now other times they do opposites or whatever they think you need.
Yeah, I feel like I see opposites a lot more, right? Like you see like throughout Star Wars, like even Dooku wanting to be with a certain master and not getting it because like he felt like they would be better compatible. But whenever I've like viewed it, it's almost always like the opposite, like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, like Qui-Gon being very different because Obi-Wan is very like, these are the rules, like we have to adhere to these, right? Because the whole thing was Satine, and
it's a challenge for both of them though. That's what it's always supposed to be. It's like a challenge because like if you look at
the High Republic, right? Like, the most recent book I haven't finished yet, but in the beginning of it, like the Padawans and the Masters are kind of opposites to kind of help balance them out. Because the Force is all about balance.
You get the Force, the balance, yeah. Mm-hmm. But you get with Sifo Dyas too, and like that type of stuff too. Even when you see Yoda and Dooku, I mean, there's similar things, and then it gets different. Yeah, so that's cool. Okay, so we got through 2 episodes real quickly. We have to get through this episode, and it's like 30 minutes. So here we go.
Please, everybody, remember to go down there, like and subscribe, and hit that bell.
Bing, bing, give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Speaking of that, real quickly, after we give the grades, we'll do it. Here we go. Jen, give us how many helmets you got.
4.5. Okay, here's the thing. It's really hard because I've seen all the episodes more than once. I know which ones in my head are going to be 5 and 6s and probably 10s. So
Can't do that.
I'm trying to but it's not fair because if I were watching this like from the very beginning, like when I was younger, and that's another thing, watching 2, 3, and 4 was almost a month long when it first came out. So when I first watched it, I'm like, God, it's taking forever. They're still with this freaking ship. Like, come on. Yeah. But now it plays so much better when you can watch them back to back. So 4.5, thought it was great. Wolf was in this episode too. Pete.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And yeah, finding out that Plo Koon found Ahsoka and brought her to the Jedi Council, that was really cool. What?
No, that's why he's got the comic, the Wolf comic
behind. Oh yeah.
This was released as its own DVD. This arc.
Yeah, it plays like a movie. Like the whole thing.
This probably should have been the movie, honestly.
That would have been yes.
That would have been really cool. All right, what do I have next? So I have Solo next. Solo, give it to us.
4.5. I dig it. I got one question.
Yeah.
Jen, did you cry?
I think
did you not full out bawl, but did you kind of start to well up like when she's looking for Plo, because you know that Plo was the one that saved Ahsoka and brought her. I mean, there's a real they write that very, very well in this episode, the connection. Did you feel when
I first watched it, I did. I remember like feeling like he was just like Anakin was just going to go towards Palps and like just leave. And I remember feeling that like, oh, and I think my eyes got like misty, but having watched it so many times, now I know. So,
like Marley and me, Misty.
That's why you're so mad at. You knew it was true because like when she's like, "Why is Anakin so hard on freaking Tano?" Like, of course, it got emotional for her. All right,
it choked me up a little. I will admit, this episode does it tugs on the heartstrings. It's solid in the feelers.
Well, you already saw 2 other escape pods get destroyed, and you're like, "Wow, am I going to see the first Jedi go down? Like this could actually be a thing." And she sees him and he's not alive. And I don't know, like it was a possibility when you first watch it. Yeah.
And the side relief when they do come together is nice.
I did see that, but when he gave out this?
Put your helmets on.
If you say so, sir.
This is a difficult situation, but there remains a possibility we will survive.
Yeah, so when that happened, I knew everything was good. I mean, because it's high. Don't worry about it. Don't cry over this episode.
But that's not like we're going to make it through this. There's possibility.
Yeah, we're going to be all right. It's going to be okay. Who's next on that? Mike, go ahead. What do you got for us?
4. I'm going 4 on this one. It is extremely solid writing. It is a great intro to a 3-part thing, which really, in my opinion, should have been the movie in the theaters. Yeah. Plo Koon's awesome. Again, a lot of nice little beats taken for characterization. Some really cool little Easter eggs in there. You know, there's Pod 1977 and a couple of other little things in there. I really like this episode. I think. And this is a future spoiler alert, if I liked the next 2 more, this would have been a 4.5, but it's a 4 on its own by itself.
All right, 4 it is. Pete, we'll actually go to Mystery Pete today. Pete, what do we got?
Not a mystery. I was here the whole time.
Look, I don't know, man. I have that other meeting. Whenever I go into that other meeting and then come here.
I know. I was there too. But for this one, again, I know I'm sticking with the same thing I scored the last one, but I'm not planning to do that all night. But I'm going 4.5 again because I really did enjoy Plo Koon in this episode. If you can guess by the clips I picked his. Not that he was given like the Newt Rockney, pull him up by the bootstraps type speeches, but he was still just very like, no need to panic. We can do this. Like we just keep moving forward. Yep. So I really dug that. So I'm sticking with 4.5 for this one.
Awesome. I am actually going with Mike because I really did like it too. I thought it was a great starting point. I'm kind of in the 3.5, 4. If it wasn't for Plo Koon in it with that little clip that we've already shown, I really thought that was really cool how he did it. And then he had another point where he was on top with the lightsaber and he's just like, hey, here. And he throws the clone across. and
Yeah.
and then flicks him back. But when he stops him, and then when he flicks him back, it's like the feather. It's like a feather. It's just perfect. So I thought it was really cool. I am giving it the 4 Clone War helmets on it too. I really enjoyed it. Now for our intermission, if you need pop or if you need breaks before you go for that, real quickly, make sure you check out Comic Book Women. Jen, would you like to promo your own show, or should I do it?
I can attempt to.
Okay, good.
So we're going to be doing conversating with Garrett Gunn, and he's done it's Source Point Press. He's on Franklin and Ghost, Warcorns. There's DFN3, which is a character that you see throughout the series for Franklin and Ghost. He's cool. He's like Warcorns is a little bit different kind of a read. It's like a fun quirky, and then we're gonna be doing mystery picks, or not mystery picks. We're doing like quirky picks, and then we'll be unveiling 2 covers coming up for Good Boy and Grave Danger.
Awesome. Nice. So you're gonna premiere 2 new covers. So check them out Tuesday night, 9:00 Eastern time. That's over here. Then you can do the addition or subtraction depending on where you live. So 987. There you go. All right. That's really cool. Make sure you check them out. They're doing a great job. And hopefully you watch their Valentine's Day special. It's never too late. After this, you can always go back and grab that. Okay. Next up is 3. Is it 3? We're at 3 already. Where's 3? There's 3. All right. So now we got Shadow. Jen, do you have anything for Shadow?
Easy is the path to wisdom for those who are not blinded by ego, or something along those lines.
Yep.
All right. Well, so we're going to destroy. I'm just trying to wonder why that one fits into it, but we'll figure it out by the end, right?
What's the plan? They're coming up with their plan. They're talking about what they're gonna do.
No, that I'm talking about the quote from the beginning of the show.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So they're coming up with the plan on what they're going to actually do. Of course, Skywalker now, who is now he's not like he was before. Now he's like Tano and being exactly like her. Like he's like going into it. He's going to do his plan. He doesn't care, whatever. He's got his little thing. We also have Grievous now. Dooku's telling him, listen, you need to go blow up this clone facility or else,
Medical Center.
Yeah, Clip 1 goes with this.
Medical Center, with all the injured people there or whatever. The injured clones, right? It's a bunch of injured clones, right?
Worse. Like, it's not like they're going after a clone facility. They're going after a medical center where people are hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it's a hospital.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know it's war, but like, damn, man,
it's dark.
And Joker Dark Knight stuff right here.
Yeah, that's a low blow. You're right. That's a very low blow. This is why they probably didn't put it out as a movie, because people be like, "Wait, it's this dark." We might not be watching.
But the first clip goes with that scene. The first clip goes with that scene.
Okay, first clip. Pete, you have the ability to hit these clips.
No, I don't want to cut you off.
No, feel free to do it. First, here.
The care these Jedi show for their troops is a weakness. A weakness we shall continue to exploit.
But this is what I don't get. If you're blowing it up, it's not really a weakness. You're just a scumbag, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you know what you're gutting them by doing that because they care. It's not like you're blowing up like a droid facility where you make droids. Like nobody cares about that. Like, you're killing people that care.
And those troops will probably come back. Like if they're not too badly damaged, you heal. You go back out. You go back out there. So
right. That is cool. All right. So we have that portion of it where they are definitely dastardly. Then they're taking out the bombers to go try to blow this up. They have a great plan in place.
I do like that they
have to go to Nebula.
The X-Wing. Like that's the first gen. Like they went back. They redrew and redesigned the X-Wing because we're used to the X-Wing later on episodes,
I know the bomber
4, 5, 6. So yeah, full bomber run, or I'm sorry, Y-Wing. Yeah, the new Y-Wing design is I really liked that detail in Clone Wars.
It's like bridging, right? Like getting from that little A-Wing, like the little Jedi fighters, to more of the
new old style Y-Wings. Awesome.
Do we have a clip of the Nebula? Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's a clip of the Nebula.
All wings, line up behind me.
Roger that, boss.
That's cool. So they take him through there, the little gas eating.
Well, you don't think that's the quote? Like Anakin wants to beat Grievous there.
Yeah.
He gets his plan, and then Plo Koon is like, "Hey, wait, where are we going?" And then, like Balmora run, and he's like, "No," like because he's a master, but like he's kind of removed from like from that kind of ego.
The
but
action,
like, when he wants to get through, it wants to be him.
What's the quote again?
It is easy is the path to wisdom for those not blinded by ego.
Yes, and
so in this case,
really
the
does start to
success
tie in here.
is really just to take the ship out.
Yeah,
rather than to take Grievous out too. But Anakin's like, no, I want to do the whole shebang. It's going to be me, my name, and lights.
Yeah, at the end where he goes after Grievous, and they have to call him back, and Tano says it's kind of funny because that's the playback they were talking in the opposite one. Like he was doing it to, and you see that a lot of the playback with Obi and Anakin too. Absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'm down. That's the quote. You all got it.
I picked that clip because that clip kind of leads into the third clip, which kind of takes us, full circle to that quote.
Where's the
third clip? Spoiler alert.
We don't have to do it now. We're not there yet.
This ties into a whole bunch of other stuff. It seems like every time they fly into, Vader 10, if you didn't see our review, maybe that's why he's so brave about flying into that nebula that has a big one-eyed octopi in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's already done it.
It's like,
well, he's one of the best.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, if you did check that out, go back, check out that Darth Vader 10 review. Pete tells us about T and Solo really get into the discussion on what a one-eyed.
Yeah, I just keep calling it Shumagora.
Yeah, Shumagora thing looks like it's pretty cool. Check it out. It's very short, so you can watch it. Okay.
They even said like when they're in the nebula, like their scanners don't work, and he's like, "Yeah, this is true flying."
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah.
Like old school flying or whatever.
Yeah.
So they have
see those guys again in Rebels, correct?
The ones that eat the gas.
No, is that aren't they a little bit different? Or are they the same ones?
No, I think so. There's a part in Rebels. You're not talking about the ones that fly and warp people out. It's the one where they go into the gas planet where there's a gas.
And they're in the moat.
And they're in there, and they come back up. Yep. I think Mike's saying when
they're in the moat.
Yep. It's the same things. Yep. So, anyways, they get in there. Tano talks Anakin out of trying to kill Grievous, as we mentioned already, and they end up blowing up the ion cannon, which is great.
You guys think it was kind of weird that Matchstick? That's his, and he went out in flames, and then he hit the guy named Tag. Oh, Tag's gone too. Like Match, and it's
he
like
got tagged.
Yeah. I was like, damn, man, that's still a 2 on the nose.
Especially because at the beginning they were like, we haven't lost anybody. Like we're like we can't be beaten. They were just completely confident.
And there's the beginning of the plan too. Like this will only be successful if you don't lose anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they lost to it. Yeah. No, that was good. So that was the end of that portion of the episode. Perfect.
We can go to the clip. We can go to the clip because now it kind of fits into where you're talking about destroying the weapon.
Is that okay? Cool. 1-3.
They're targeting the station. We're running out of time.
Master, you can make it, but everyone else is getting shot down.
Yeah, which is weird because she said everybody else is getting shot down, but they had to have every single person or they wouldn't make it. And technically, they only blew up the ion cannon. They didn't actually destroy the whole ship. So, I mean, there you go. I guess that's how they fixed that problem.
Maverick, you can make it, but Iceman and the rest of the fleet aren't able to fly through the nebula.
That is a no-go.
And that's kind of what I was looking for. But yeah, he's like, "Follow me, guys. I'll lead us out of here. Like I got this." But not everybody can fly like you.
Anakin, you know why no one likes you? Because you're dangerous.
And then all of a sudden they're playing volleyball on Tatooine. Shirtless volleyball on Tatooine. All right. So with that thought in mind, let's rank the episode. We'll still go the same way we were. Jen, what do you give it as far as helmets go?
4.
4?
Yeah. Like it's still integral. You still need to learn some of these things. It's cool seeing like Plo Koon be like, "Oh, I'm gonna come with," and like Ahsoka, and I know I don't always use, I'm not articulate sometimes, but like I just feel like it wasn't as good as the last one, and it was kind of messed up with the whole medical center. But yeah, all in all, like a 4. Like again, if you had to wait a week in between every episode, I would have lowered it. But again, it fits so nicely into like what Mike was saying. Like 4.
Cool. So what do you got on it?
I'm really torn between a 3.5 and a 4 on this one. I think I'm going to go 3.5. I really enjoyed the episode. I like a lot of the animation. I like the description and the way they drew and did a lot of the art with the new ship and the ion cannon and the way they tackled, the nebula, and a lot of that stuff was really, I like a lot of the stuff in this. It just didn't, it just lacks a little bit of that punch that the other two really deliver, but it's still a great episode.
That's awesome. 3.5. Guys, you're killing it in the chats. I like the comments from both.
I dare somebody
The Yoda's garter with the Danger Zone play.
I dare somebody else to do that. Take these clips and do Danger Zone in the back.
And by the way, it's Playing with the Boys playing during the volleyball scene.
Yeah.
just so you have the right soundtrack in your head, everybody.
Flew through the nebula. All right. So let's get back to it. 3.5 is what Solo gave it to us. Mike, what do you got?
I'm also at 3.5. I like this episode. I don't love this episode. There's some really cool stuff in it. It feels very much like a middle episode leading to something else. And I think the reason it doesn't get the 4 is it leaves the Malevolence not destroyed so that we can get this next episode that is absolutely unnecessary. So wait for my review on the next one, because if it should have ended here.
Wow. Spoiler, Mike.
Yeah. Pete, what do you got?
I'm also going to go with the 3.5 for very similar reasons. This was like Quantum of Solace. Like, it was nice, but it didn't feel like an episode all of its own. It was just a bridging the gap of.
Yep.
Now, while I might not agree where the next episode might not be unnecessary, but I do see the point. Like, this is kind of the middle thing, and there's some nice character building in here. And again, with the Anakin learning that, hey, not everybody's as good as you. I liked it, but at the same time, as a whole, this is a solid episode. If you only watch just this, I can't see being hooked into this series just on its own.
Yeah,
there's not enough there. So
I got that. Cool, I got that, and this is the only reason why I think I'm going to keep it, because I was probably 3-ish too, but I'm going to keep it 3.5. Is because this was the episode before, and since we did watch it in these 2 episodes, he was like, "This."
Put your helmet on.
If you say so, sir.
This is a difficult situation, but there remains a possibility we will survive.
And then he went into, oh crap, we're going into Nebula. So like that just made the episode for me. I'm gonna give it for 3.5 right there, so I'm not gonna rank it any lower. I also too do not believe that the next episode is the wasted episode. But hey, let's get into the next episode.
Darth Lopez gave us money.
Yeah, we can't bypass this.
Look at Darth Lopez. We got another. Thank you, Darth.
Thank you, Darth Lopez. Yes. Great quote. Right there. Great quote.
Yeah.
And
so Darth Lopez is loving the Darth Plagueis. He's going back and reading the books. He's grabbing the tag and Binks. He's doing all that stuff. He's really excited. He believes that he might be showing up sooner or later. And here he goes with any Sith can go ahead. Somebody else say it because I'm talking too much.
Any Sith can feign compassion and self-righteousness and master the Jedi arts, but only 1 in 1,000 Jedi could ever become a Sith. Darth Plagueis.
There you go. That is his favorite character. Thank you very much. That's great, Lopez. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So with that being said, we will get into the last episode here. The last episode, season 1, episode 4. Now we're going to destroy it. Yeah, I mean, we
should have done it
away.
last episode, but okay.
Mike already gave that part away. Jed, what do we got for a quote?
And the quote is, "A plan is only as good as those who see it through."
Hey, by the way, you sure Pete's here? Because he should have put the spoiler thing around while he said should have done it at last episode. But
what about you do the spoiler thing for the episode's called "Destroy Malevolence"?
Yeah, but he said it last episode. You're off today. What's going on here?
It's like the damn episode 1 soundtrack having
bathroom.
So here we go. They definitely, the ship's a little bit hobbled. You're right. We get to see. Man, it's not in good shape. What are? Oh yeah. So they did a ploy. They did a ploy where they sent out. There was this little back and forth between Dooku and Grievous, and Dooku saying like, "You better be better or else whatever." And he ends up putting out this call, and it was the dumbest explanation I think I've ever heard.
Hang on.
Did anybody have a problem with that? Come on.
Palpatine is trying to salvage this ship. So he's like, what can I do? That's right. I'll use Padme as a freaking bait and hopefully distract Anakin because I want to save this freaking ship. And so, but the thing is like, so Palpatine has like the layers of like the chess game, right? So this is like frontline stuff. He wants to save the ship. I'm just do that. And yeah, okay. I know that you did the thumbs down, but like that was me going like, hang on. Even later in the episode, she's like, "Oh, it was a trap," but thinks that it's like someone giving him. I was like, "How did you not think it was Palpatine?" It's fine. Anyway.
Here, so this is how this call went. Ring, ring. Hey, how you doing? Me, Jar Jar Binks. What should I do? Hey, princess, you go out there in space. You go have talks with somebody who hates you and already tried to kill you before. No, that makes no sense. The Trade Federation.
It wasn't even that detail. It wasn't even that deceptive. It was Palpatine telling her, "Hey, my guys are telling me you need to go out here." Like he still told her to go out.
Yeah, he still told her to do it. But what I'm saying is to go meet with somebody who has already betrayed you. You know, like no. That how does that conversation even go down? No, that can't.
Wait. Where am I? I'm in the middle of a battle. This shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Oh my no.
And C-3PO is on there. Okay, yeah, that was all bad.
And then they go through the whole droid factory freaking thing again, like in episode 2. I'm like,
that's the video game. Yeah, they go through the video game thing.
Brutal.
We have a.
What is going on?
Probably one of the highlights of the episode, the clank. I mean, that was pretty good. That was very video game-ish.
It was definitely video game-ish.
So they're gonna have to blow it up. Then she had to clean up the droids, which was like,
yeah, I didn't. Okay, yeah.
Hey, why?
The only part that I liked was after Grievous and Obi-Wan kind of battle a little bit. He gets away on the other train and does like Indiana Jones, like da-da, and I was like, hey.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, I do like how they added a little bit of all of these episodes, these last 3 kind of gave you a little bit more insight into Grievous, which is kind of funny too, because like Grievous is like, he's like looked down upon, you know what I mean? Like you kind of think he's like a little bit of a BA type character and everything like that, but no, they really crap on Grievous a lot. If I was Grievous, I don't even think I don't know why he's doing it. I really hope that they give like hugely in-depth Grievous stories and redo them, that they're a little bit better than the old version now that they can. You know, I mean, maybe we'll get Grievous now.
I guys like any of the droid, like throughout the series, and even like these past 3 or 4, I like the little droid like quips or quotes, like it's just like a smile worthy. Like I think in one of them, it's like, "Oh, you missed." He's like, "Well, that's my programming." And
that's from the ambush episode.
Yeah, and then
I love that.
And there's one in this one too where I think he's excited because he gets to control the ship. And then, like, we know what happens there.
What about the one who's like, "I heard something. See, I told you I heard something."
I knew this would be a bad idea.
Or the one with Yoda when he's like, "I just took over," or "I just got put in charge," and then boom, done.
Beheaded.
Like, yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah, you get a little Grievous OE fighting. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Of course, we get the saving and Padme and the blow up of the ship, pretty much. Yeah. Do we got any more video?
Blow up of the ship. We got one more clip.
Oh, one more clip. Yeah.
No, reset it.
General.
That was cool when he took off, and they're like, "Oh, we think he just disconnected."
Screw you! I'm gone.
Yeah, and then the scowl of Dooku
I don't get paid enough for this.
Is like it gets deep. He's just like, "Brr."
Well, yeah, he's like, "Where's my ship?
I'm out of here."
Ship's gone. I'm out.
Yeah, and the droids, and that was another part of the droid where the droid at the end, you didn't think, he's like, it looks like he disconnected the call. Like he just threw Grievous under the bus.
Oh, I went through a tunnel.
Nah, he disconnected the call, just to let you know real quickly too. Like he got rid of it. So that was kind of cool. I did enjoy that episode. I guess now that I review it, I don't know if Mike set it up for the platter for me to be more disappointed in it at the end than all right. Either way, we'll go through. We got a couple minutes left. Let's go through our rankings. Jen, one last time, give us the ranking on this, and then give us the ranking on this, and we'll overall do it, and we'll talk to the chat.
Is it possible to do like, there's like A+ and A-?
Yeah, sure.
Can it be like a 4-?
Wouldn't that be 3.5?
I guess. 3.5.
No, you want to know why we can't do that? Because Pete created like 1,000 of these for any situation. He created enough that we would cover almost any situation Jen would give us as a grade. And 4- is not one that he did.
Until earlier you said 10. I'm like, wait, I didn't give 10.
Yeah, that's a 3.5.
3.5 it is. So you get a 3.5 on this one. There you go.
I'm seeing what like Mike is saying about this. Like, I remember being kind of disappointed when I first watched it and being like, that's the end of, like, they built it up over 3 episodes. This is the 3rd one. Okay, that's how you're gonna choose. Okay, like,
yeah, I get it. Let the dark side consume you. I got it. All right. What's next? We have Solo. Solo, give it to us.
All right. This is, you guys are going to kill me in the chat. This is going to be funny. All right.
I'll say 5.
I give it a 3 because there's a couple of good fun points. Like when 3PO gets nailed by that train. All right. Woohoo. That's a great point. I really hate the whole Anakin Padme sneaking around kissing. Oh, we just finally went into the tunnel and we can kiss. And it, like, come on. It just, how did nobody ever pick up on that? Especially the Jedi. Like, come on. I really hate that they make Padme the helpless female over and over and over and over. Give us a strong female character. Watch us cling to it. Look at what happened with so many of the strong female characters that we have today.
They've made her strong. You're right. They made her stronger in other ones.
Yes, they did. They finally do. Spoiler alert. But when they just kept playing Padme over and over as this helpless female, oh my, it infuriates me. I hate it. Anyway, then they're going to crash one of the largest ships they've ever made into a moon, and there's no implications. Really? Not a giant crater, not knocking the planet out of orbit, I mean, come on. And that's my over technicality. I know it's fake. Come on. It's Star Wars. It's real in my mind. That's a 3.
All right. That's a solid 3. That's a great explanation. Mike, what do you have on it?
2.
Jeez, I knew you were going there. I almost wrote
down
2.
2. It's in my opinion, in the 7 seasons, this is the most careless written episode and probably the most useless episode throughout the entire thing. It would have been a 1 if the 2 episodes before it hadn't been so good, and that this wasn't the culmination of a pretty good story arc overall. I think I would have. I mean, the whole Padme thing's unnecessary.
Really,
making her the damsel in distress is upsetting. The whole rehash of the episode 2 Droid Factory video game thing, also upsetting and useless. A lot of holes in the plot. Just, it's a 2. It is.
Pete, that's fine. Pete, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm not going to rehash the same complaints everybody else has, but I'm also just going to give this one a 3, mostly just because, well, there are fun bits like the 3PO there, and I also love the Grievous hanging up, which is why I made those the clips that I chose out of this episode. But overall, yeah, this felt like the beginning of the Battle of the 5 Armies. Like, you just should have killed Smaug at the end of the last movie. Like, why did you drag this out? Like, just to give us, like, you just could have ended it, like Mike said, with episode 2 with it. Like, this was kind of unnecessary. The Padme bit, just stretching it out to just trying to make it, I guess, 90 minutes or something they could sell a DVD. Yeah, it just can't stand on its own. But it did have some fun parts. So 3.
So I give it a 3 too. I think you could have completely removed Padme for it and still done the exact same thing. He could have still had to sneak on to there and reprogram the hyperdrive. He could have done that. You're right. It was very sexist with the cleaning up the room after I make a mess thing. That kind of sucked, man. You know, and you're right. They, especially for her, who later on they do make her very strong character, and they did in the movies too a lot of times. Like, to see this was kind of lame. It was just kind of lame. Like, it was lame. So I'll give it a 3. It wasn't completely terrible. I like the Grievous parts of it. The Dooku stuff, like the bad guys kind of did a good job with it, and the droids weren't terrible in it. But yeah, you could have just cut out the whole Padme part. And
I mean, she had that one line where she's like, keep shooting, don't, like, it needs to be destroyed, don't. And then it's Anakin who's like, no, I'm going to go over and save her.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you just don't need her there at all. I mean, you could have had Grievous being chased by Obi. That would have, like, think about that. Think if you put more Grievous Obi fighting time, even if it was like game-ish, but it
would have cured exactly what JJ was saying. How, like, in the Gandhi run, that they made Grievous like the super. He's BA in that run. Like he tears it up. Like he just goes through and annihilates people. And then in this run, they really weakened him down. So I agree, Marco, exactly what you're saying. They could have put in a lot better battle scenes with Obi and really shown that conflict of how tough.
Yeah, remember he was supposed to be stealing people. He got his lightsabers from cutting them away from Jedi. Like they definitely could have done a little bit more in depth in his story. So I mean, I hope. Hey, look, they still got time for it, so I hope they do. But you know, I mean, we got some stuff coming up. So
do we ever see that in like? Do we ever see that? I mean, besides in that cartoon, do we ever see like those stories of how he becomes him and a badass and gets those lightsabers, or not really?
There was stories told of it in the stuff that became Legacy, but it wasn't like they told the story of like how he got parts replaced and who he was when he was younger. But like that's what I'm saying. Like it would be cool if you got the full one and you got to see him actually cut people down.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's too dark, but heck, your first 2 episodes weren't exactly like the 2 parts before this weren't exactly roses. I mean, you're crushing and throwing guys out into space and just letting them die. Yeah. I mean, whatever. You could have done that. So
there's some dark episodes later. How about that Brainworms episode? We'll wait till we get to that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
wow, spoilers, man.
Hey, Pete, where are you on the ticker? Where are you on the ticker?
Sorry. I can't help it, man.
I haven't seen it yet. Jeez.
Oh, yes, you have.
All right. With that being said, hey, once again, Darth Lopez, we really do appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for the what's that thing called? I don't even know what that's called.
Super chat.
Super chat. Thank you very much. $4.99 in the super chat. I gotta figure out where that goes.
Darth Talon would be great. I hope you're right, Lopez. I hope
he did drop. Look at this nugget. I didn't see this yet, but Darth Talon rumors or something. Get my attention.
Yes, that'd be cool.
I think he's just joking around with that. All right, here we go. Cool. Next reading we got here is 05, 06, 07, 08. Rookies, Downfall of the Droid, Duel of the Droids, and Bombard Jedi. Yes, it'd be cool. It definitely would be cool if we can get into some of those, like the Cad Bane, then the Plagueis, then the Talon, and as long as they don't go with what was the hippie one's name? Darth Millennium. As long as they get rid of that guy, I'm okay with it. Okay. I don't know why we need Darth Millennium ever. I don't even know whoever came up with that character. You had a bad week. Okay. All right. So, hey, thank you very much. Hey, make sure you check out Thursday too. Thursday, we're going to have our regular show. It's the last time for that format. We're doing, the Droid Grotto. And then after that, we're going to start doing reviews. We're going to review ARC for comic books. We're just going to cover it. We're going to show panels and everything like that. We're going to start off with a volume 1 of Darth Vader. We'll let you know which ones we're doing there. I think it's 1 through 6, something like that. Either way, we'll do that, and then we'll switch between there and maybe Afra. Give us suggestions down below which storylines you want us to cover in that. Pete, what do you got going on this week?
Well, I was supposed to get it out on Saturday, but it's coming out on Tuesdays. I'm moving to early Tuesdays before Comic Book Women. I'm going to do Buck Rogers this week. So a little bit of a Star Wars knockoff kind of property, even though it came way before, but
sure, put all the good shows on Tuesday. I see how it is.
It's a good stuff. So we got that. Do we have 3-card money at all this week or no?
No, we're off. We're off this week.
We're off.
Are you guys just gonna turn that into a 3-card interview?
It's comic creator chats now. 3C.
Yeah,
3C. Okay, there you go. Yeah. And then hey, don't miss it if you missed MCM last night. I do a little story time in the beginning about McDonald's and Pokemon cards, and then we talk about 5 artists that we 5 writers that we love in the arcs, and it just went off the rails as usual. MCM went off the rails. There's a lot of DC talk, so if you're a DC fan, feel free to go and defend Corbin because he really got it. And I know the Snyder Cut's out there now. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, whatever, man. It's the same bloody thing. It's terrible. Either way, that's all we got. New Buck Rogers movies coming, supposedly good. Well, that's perfect on target there, JJ, for Pete's Toys.
Yeah, that's why I was recommended by some. I can't remember who it was, but a viewer recommended it. And then we talked to J.G. Jones on 3 Comic Money last week, and he had a Buck Rogers pistol that he showed us, and I was like, dude, that seals it. Somebody recommended it, and the artist we're talking to is showing me a toy from it. I'm doing it. So Buck Rogers.
Yeah, we're off the rails.
Yeah, well, I think we were talking about last night we went off the rails. That show always goes off the rails though. Like we were actually pretty tame.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah, we were pretty tame for what we normally are. You guys should all come on that show one day, and we could just we'll just have 10 people on it and just completely go off the rails. Yeah, okay. The C-3PO DTO. What is that? Twiggy? Okay. Thank you very much, Yoda's Gardner. Thank you very much, JJ Macwell's Darth. We really do appreciate it, Darth Lopez. Shannon, and by the way, congratulations, Darth Lopez, on selling all those Heir to the Empires. Everybody else, I know I saw, what's his name, Scott in here, Gonzo. And Matt, thank you very much. Very good. We will see you. Can somebody take us out? I'm the worst at taking us out of here. Can somebody take us out? We just need to hard stop this, don't we?
Yeah.
All right, Fat Club. What?